it's a very interesting topic because mobile is big, but mobile social is not, and this is social. So I'll have opportunity to do a few more mobile social events. So I thought that India mobile social. I'll have 3 slides: India, mobile, and social. Literally that, and this is about India. India, where's media? We don't need to have mobile social really, because media, every other kind of media, which is print, TV, every other thing, is still growing. We need mobile social otherwise because we need more focused or targeting, which India doesn't need it yet. I mean, advertisers definitely want to get that, but think about it that the audiences whom you can reach using medias aren't yet there. So we are one of the unique countries, and it continues for next minimum 5 years, where we will continue to see more print and more TV channels still growing. And a little bit more context about the brand. India, even though youth country, the topmost brand that you notice aren't necessarily sitting around the youth values. For example, like Nokia is the coolest brand of this country. I mean, And then talk about the brands that need a lot of segmentation or targeting, which is what mobile social continues to bring, isn't really there. We're very far and wide people. In India, the brands are created on more traditional ways. For example, like if you talk to any online commerce company, which is classically the one which will spend most amount of time on internet, and which means that it's all audiences anyways default should be on internet, will know that unless I advertise on TV or print, I don't get that trust factor built in. So as a consumer, we aren't truly one of those who can be so evolved consumers that somebody is advertising online and that is good enough. We still see print and TV advertising done by those who have pure online audience, because this is by the nature of as a consumer that we have. So the brands get built offline. Buland Bharat Ki Buland Tasveer Bajaj is a classic example that it can continue to be built on the back page of India Today. And then you see Adani, which is nothing related to what consumers will need, and this is the full page ad that you see in front of Times of India. Both these are saying that the consumers still believe that unless it is seen in print and watched on TV, there is not enough trust that I can build to this brand. So we, country-wise, we are yet not that kind of segment which needs India's mobile and social sort of audience. Give and take 500 million users. I'm being generous here. It should be about 450 to be honest about it. Everybody else is a double SIM, non-activated, useless, multi-SIM customer, which is not even needed. Anyways, India will not have more than 600 million users. I mean, 400 millions don't have 35 rupees. Remember that? Which we had a catch. And so of the 500 million users, you still have few million of those all smartphone that we may say. I'm counting Nokia not necessarily in the smartphone, because the smartphone seems to be proprietary owned by these 3 brands that I've named here. OS called BlackBerry OS or Android OS or Apple OS. Just in case, BlackBerry does not have even 5 million customers in the country when we look at this number. Apple launches things at the last in this country, because when you talk to telecom operators, they give I mean, this is from officially from the horse's mouth of an operator. Why do we not see iPhone 4S or iPad 3 getting, 3 is the wrong word, so new iPad getting launched in this country? Because the telcos in India do not assume that consumers in this country will be able to be more than 10,000 users. So we give 10,000 as a commitment, and we get in the queue at the last. By the time next iPhone is getting launched, we get in India the previous campaign. What am I trying to tell you this here? The simple thing is that we all believe that mobile social will be growing on top of internet, which is where what we need, a smartphone or a phone which has an internet connection to it, and that these marquee devices and the consumer adaptation is pretty slow. And you know what, guys, I don't want to tell you that it is bad to assume that it is going slow, but the intention is in next 12 months it will continue to not change the traction massively. The acceleration will not be far more than what it has been traditionally. So it's still 12 months, I believe, when you see sincere mobile internet happening here. We as a company do a lot of mobile, and I'm not supposed to give the case studies here, but I want to tell you that what I've seen is that it's a most complementary media. You might like to create a social engagement, which is like creating a community, creating any sort of user-generated content on whatsoever, but those things are complemented through the main media. This is definitely not the main media. I'm talking about mobile only, then I'll talk about mobile social, which is this. India's youth is Orkut youth. And I'm sure that you now know that there is a reason for people to switch to Facebook, and people are switching to Facebook. But this is the youth which is, anyways, I mean, like hangout destinations, real world, virtual worlds, got an opportunity, dating, chatting, every other reason, which is more like a appish reason. Dating, chatting is an app on top of a social network, or an intention why you go on the social network. Watching photographs is another one. So we are youth. Youth stands for, I can do so many try and buys. I'm okay for a few more trials if you want to give me. If India launches Big Adda or any other social network, people will flock onto that because they think that there could be few more users on that. That's a pretty nice youth. All social will be driven by mobile. It's written, talked any number of times. But let's talk about what is the mobile that we're talking here. Is it about Facebook mobile, or a Twitter on the mobile, or is it about something else which is yet not driven primarily using internet on the mobile? I've seen people doing good job of wrapping SMSs into a social. You must have heard of SMS Gupshup. It's a classic case of Western. People think that it is the Twitter of India on SMS. Any one of you, if syncs with that, then it is definitely successful. The answer on the Twitter on SMS is that this application is, incidentally, consumers believe it's a free content, and the community managers believe it is owning of a community. But end of the day, as a marketeer, we end up getting nearly nothing but a flat and simple bulk SMS covered into content or covered into social reason and so on. Anything else ahead of display, the engagement like promoted tweet, engagements like hopefully timeline-based ads from Facebook, hopefully few more natively Ning sort of create your own community sort of applications, still a little far here. Reason being, these are just another part of a very small percentage of people whom you can reach out, and a very different segment, which is a very high-end segment that you reach out. There are bright spots in social gaming. There is no doubt about it. We just heard about it. People play games together. Social gaming. It could be happening on the mobile. It could be happening on browser. It could be happening on mobile browser. Apps which integrate a lot of behavior on the social. Classic. It's just a viral driver, incidentally. And I'm sure number of companies intend purely that and so on. We saw a very awesome feature when people were asked to record content on dial-in the voice, and you heard Rajiv talk about Rocket Talk, also purely driven by the voice sort of things. Probably Indians are very talkative. As you can see that in last 10 minutes I will be talking how many words, and it continues on every consumer in India, every user in India, which means that we aren't yet savvy typing people, which is what Europe drives, which is what Americans a lot of times do, but we are a lot of talk-centric. So you will see communities, content generated, which is driven by, again, and voice and voice and voice. I think if we were to talk about an opportunity for mobile social, we have luxury of time, at least 12 more months. By that time, the internet would have penetrated, the mobile would have penetrated, the better customer would have come. A few more global learnings would have happened completely, like what kind of ads are going to work on the social. Till that time period, I believe it is an open landscape. That was 9 minutes. Thanks.